Hello and a very warm welcome to this Saturday morning's edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio. For the News First team, I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. First on your headlines.
News First headline.
In local news, 70% of Sri Lankans in Israel working safely from home, says Sri Lankan Ambassador. State Minister of Finance holds talks with many high-profile officials at IMF World Bank spring meetings. Final rites of the late Dr. A.T. Aryaratna to be carried out this evening with state honours. In news overseas, Iran signals no plan to retaliate against Israel after drone attack. And in sports news, it's tennis, Sabalenka knocked out of Stuttgart Open by Vondrousova, Swiatek into semis. On to those stories in detail now. Sri Lankan Ambassador to Israel, Nimal Bandara, says that about 70% of the Sri Lankans residing in Israel work safely from home. The ambassador said that about 15% are working in the agricultural sector and the others are engaged in jobs in the construction industry. The ambassador says that although shelling has been reported from time to time across the Lebanese border in the northern region of Israel, more than 150,000 residents of the area have been temporarily evacuated to other places. He adds that the Sri Lankans among them have also been evacuated to new locations. The Sri Lankan embassy in Israel is constantly monitoring the Sri Lankans in Israel and informs anyone who is facing a problematic situation to contact the embassy. Ambassador Nimal Bandara says that most of the flights travelling from Sri Lanka to Europe pass through the Israeli region, so those flights may be delayed due to constant flight changes and delays as well as security reasons. The tension between Iran and Israel has drawn much attention of the entire world by now. Iranian media said that blasts were heard in the central province of Isfahan and flights were suspended over several cities. Many believe that Israel initiated the attacks on Iran. News First continues to monitor the situation and will bring you the very latest on this developing story. Now on to the latest development from the end of Iran. Although explosions echoed across the Iranian city on Friday in what sources said is an Israeli attack, Tehran played down the incident and indicated that it had no plans for retaliation, a response that appeared gauged towards averting region-wide war. Iran's foreign minister said the drones which sources said Israel launched against the city of Isfahan were mini drones and that they had caused no damage or casualties. The limited scale of the attack and Iran's muted response appeared to signal a successful effort by diplomats who have been working to avert all-out war since an Iranian drone and missile attack on Israel on Saturday. Iranian media and officials described a small number of explosions which they said resulted from air defenses hitting 3 drones over Isfahan in central Iran. They referred to the incident as an attack by infiltrators rather than by Israel, obviating the need for retaliation. Now back to news here at home. State Minister of Finance Shehan Singha says that at the meeting with Abdul Hamid Al Khalifa, the president of the OPEC fund, it was heartening to hear that the fund has already decided to assist Sri Lanka through project-based financing and was appreciative of the ongoing economic reforms and good practices adopted by the government of Sri Lanka. Posting on X, he added that he met with William Roos, co-chairman of Paris Club and Assistant Secretary for Multilateral Affairs, Trade and Development Policies Department during the spring meetings. The state minister says that they discussed the progress of negotiations with the official creditor committee as well as other stakeholders, and that the Paris Club reassured the continued support for Sri Lanka to achieve debt sustainability. He adds that Anjali Kaur, Deputy Assistant Administrator of the Bureau for Asia USAID, appreciated the multi-pronged assistance provided by USAID to Sri Lanka for various development activities. Their discussions also focused on further strengthening collaboration, including on ongoing governance reforms. State Minister of Finance Shehan Singha also says that he attended the ministerial meeting on Meeting the Moment Together, driving finance solutions for climate and development during the IMF World Bank spring meetings and engaged with global leaders and stakeholders in addressing pressing issues related to the climate change and sustainable development. Still in local news, the funeral of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement founder Dr. A.T. Aryaratna will be held with state honours today at 4 p.m. at the Independence Square. His remains will lie at the Sarvodaya headquarters till 12 noon today before being taken to the Independence Square. Dr. Aryaratna passed away on Tuesday after a brief illness at a private hospital. Many religious leaders, political leaders and intellectuals paid their final rites to the late Dr. A.T. Aryaratna at the Sarvodaya headquarters in Moratua. Up next is Sports News.
Sports News.
And in sports news, it's tennis. World number 2 Ariana Sabalenka's hopes of reaching a fourth consecutive Stuttgart Open final ended after a 3-6, 6-3, 7-5 quarter-final defeat by Marketa Vondrousova on Friday, while champion Iga Swiatek maintained her perfect record at the event. World number 1 Iga Swiatek extended her run at the tournament to 10-0 and is now 2 wins away from claiming her third successive Stuttgart title, following her 7-6, 7-6, 6-3 win over Britain's Emma Raducanu. She will face 4th seed Elena Rybakina for a place in Sunday's final. And that's a wrap of this edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Thank you for watching.